This lesson is about simplifying complex fractions. But before we get into that, let's exactly define what a complex fraction really is. A complex fraction is a fraction within a fraction. In other words, we have the a as the numerator, and we have the denominator as a over x plus 1. There's a fraction itself. It's the denominator of the overall fraction. A over x plus 1 is the denominator. That is considered to be a complex fraction. So let me erase that, and I'll bring a problem in that we can actually simplify together. This is a complex fraction. We have a as the numerator, and then the denominator consists of 1 plus a over 1 plus 1 over x. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on this, as shown in the red parentheses. We're going to keep simplifying until we have this fraction at its simplest form. And the best way to simplify that 1 plus 1 over x is to actually add them together. And the basic rule of adding any fractions is the fact that you need to make sure that the denominator on every one of the fractions are the same. Then you can combine them. So the first thing we need to do, we want to make sure they both have a common denominator of x. So in order for the 1 and the 1 over x to have the same denominator, I'm going to multiply the 1 times x over x, which has a value of 1. If we multiply 1 times any number, the value stays the same. So x over x is 1. I'm going to multiply it times the 1. Now they both have a denominator of x, so I could just simply add those together. It is now simplified, as you can tell, as x plus 1 over x. So at this point, we still have a complex fraction. We still have not eliminated the fraction within the fraction. We're going to do that right now. In our next step, we're going to multiply by something that will eliminate the complex fraction. And this is our next step. You can see that the fraction that's going to be simplified, the x plus 1 over x, I still have the red parentheses around it to show you that it still exists in the simplification process. We are going to try to eliminate the x denominator. The way to do that is to multiply both top and bottom times the quantity x over 1 divided by x over 1, which is equal to 1, by the way. I'm going to put blue parentheses around that to show you that that value is 1. We can start canceling out the x in the denominator like this. And that process gave us this result in the lower left corner of the screen, circled in red. Now we still have a complex fraction right now, but we are about ready to eliminate it. The problem is we still have the fraction ax over x plus 1 right here, as shown in the red parentheses. The best way to simplify the denominator now, the 1 plus ax over x plus 1, is to actually add those two together, the 1 and the ax over x plus 1, but they both have different denominators. So we need to make sure they have the same denominator, because the rule is to add or subtract fractions, you must always have the same denominator. We're going to choose the common denominator as x plus 1. In order to force the 1 to have that same denominator, we're going to multiply it times x plus 1 over x plus 1. Now they both have the same denominator. And of course, remember, the x plus 1 over the x plus 1 has a value of 1. And that's the key point there. As you can see, the 1 with the blue parentheses is the same as the 1 in blue parentheses there. We're multiplying it by 1 in the form of x plus 1 over x plus 1. Now they both have the same denominator. And now we're going to combine this new denominator in the red parentheses as this. Now this is still a complex fraction, but we're almost done with it. The fastest way to simplify this in green, I'm going to circle it in green to show you this is what we have so far, is to multiply this, both top and bottom, by the reciprocal of the denominator. And that would be in blue parentheses right here. So we find the reciprocal of that denominator, multiply both top and bottom by that, and that will simplify it, as I'll show in the next screen. But just to refresh what I just mentioned, we're going to take this denominator, which is this right here, we're going to multiply it times its reciprocal, both numerator and denominator, in the form of 1. As you can see, we did exactly that. We took the denominator, multiplied it by its reciprocal, which is x plus 1 over x plus 1 plus ax. Now we can actually just simply eliminate. The x over 1 divided by x over 1 is 1, so that cancels out. That cancels out here. We are left with the numerator on top. So the denominator cancels out as 1. We are left with this numerator by itself, which, as you can tell, is rewritten down here. All we need to do now is simplify it just one step further, and you'll have your final answer. Multiply your a in the numerator, and we'll get our final answer, which is this. So now you know how to deal with complex fractions and how to simplify them. This may seem like a very complex procedure, but essentially it is pretty simple if you just take it one step at a time.